Hello adventurers and welcome back to my channel. I'm here in Arkansas and we're checking out Cosmic Caverns. So buckle up, let's roll the intro and go underground. Upstairs we find the entire history of the cave and some really cool artifacts. All of these different news stories telling a little bit more about what makes Cosmic Cavern so special, and also a few of the photos that have been taken and collected over the years. Even a few weddings have been held here. Now, once we move downstairs, the tour is about an hour and a half, and they do recommend that you don't bring larger items like bulky purses or bags. But if you did happen to leave the car with them, they have some lockers here. So just kind of be prepared, pack light, and get ready for your mind to be blown.
Very glad you're here. If you do have a coat or jacket, we ask you to please wear it. Don't wear it around your waist. It can get caught up in the fencing. If you have gum or tobacco, we do ask you to spit it out in the trash can. We don't want to contaminate the cave. We're gonna get everybody right around the opening here and just go over a few do's and don'ts, then we will mosey on down into the cave. Is the opening we just came through. That's the only opening in the entire cave system to the outside world. So anything you see in the cave came through the same opening we just came through. Now, to be fair, that opening did used to be 3 or 4 times the size it is now. They closed most of it off back in 1927 when they built that staircase, so they'd be able to secure it against trespassers and vandals and such. Our cave was originally discovered in 1845 by a man named John Mohr. He and his sons were out in this area doing some prospecting. This was part of the original Louisiana Purchase that everybody has to learn about in American history. It had not been very extensively explored at the time. They were hoping to find a vein of gold or a vein of silver or something and build a mining empire. Well, they didn't find any precious metals, but they did discover the cave itself. Then, when they got back to civilization, they reported their discovery, and this was named Mohr's Cavern in their honor. That's what it was called for around 40 years. Then, in 1884, the Yule family showed up. They wanted to homestead the property, so they built a house and a barn. They mostly concentrated on raising cattle. They really didn't care if they had a cave on their property or not, as long as one of the kids or one of the cows didn't fall down in the hole. However, the kids were delighted. Can you imagine being a kid and having a cave in your backyard? How cool would that be? Well, when they got old enough, they started coming down here and exploring. They had a rather interesting way of doing it. They went and chopped down about a 40-foot cedar tree and dropped it down the hole. Then they went and got a rope, tied it around a tree growing outside of the opening and dropped that down the hole. For the first umpteen years, the only way to get in and out of the cave was climbing up and down a cedar tree, hanging on to a rope, sort of Tarzan style. Well, in 1890, a geologist came to the area. He came into the cave, looked around, came back out and said, "You don't have any precious metals. You don't have any precious gems. No diamonds, emeralds, rubies. But you do have something worth a little bit of money if you're interested in mining it out." And that's this stuff. Cave onyx. Cave onyx is mostly made out of calcium, just like our teeth and bones. The color comes from iron oxide. Iron is the same mineral that makes our blood that lovely color of reddish brown. And the reason it glows is because it has a crystalline structure that diffuses the light. Well, they looked into it and found out they could sell this stuff on the market for about 8 cents a pound. This rock weighs about 5 pounds and go for 40 cents. This rock weighs 25 pounds. We know because we weighed it. It'd go for about $2, which doesn't sound like a lot of money, but remember, we're talking about 125 years ago. Way back then, it was very common for a grown man to be paid a salary of $1 a day. That one rock was worth 2 days' work, definitely worth it. So they came down here, they started mining. You can see where they stripped it out all the way back to bedrock, layer by layer. You can also see where they stopped. And why they stopped right there, I have no idea. Under all that yucky black stuff and yucky white stuff is cave onyx. This is a column. A column is where a stalactite and a stalagmite meet in the middle and make one solid formation. Some people call these pillars, but it is my understanding that here in Arkansas, a pillar is what you put your head on at night when you go to bed. Because we know how old it is. It's a little bit over 90 years old. We can use it to gauge how quickly a formation develops down here. This is about 90 years of flowstone. Our water is so rich in calcium that it looks more like a candle is melted and dribbled wax down the wall than it does just water. I've been here 4 years, and I'd never seen an alligator. But he saw it. Check that out. I think it looks like an alligator too. 4 years, and I never noticed it. That's kind of embarrassing. Oh well. This is cave ribbon, and it's thick enough that it is opaque. You cannot see the light through it. This is cave bacon. It's a little bit thinner. It's translucent, and you can see the light through it. This is the Kimberling fault line. It goes about 30 miles due north and about 30 miles due south. We're pretty much in the smack dab center of it. I know I asked you not to touch the formations. This is an exception to the rule. Everybody can touch the brain. We even have a hole in the fence so kids can reach through and touch the brain if they want to. That black stuff on top of the brain is an accumulation of oil, salts, and minerals from people having touched the brain for over 90 years. This is why we ask people to not touch the formations. Not only does it discolor them and leave them dirty looking, it makes them stop growing. Basically, the reason it has this beautiful blue color to it is because of the mineral content. It's very rich in calcium and magnesium suspended in a water medium. If you are really interested and intrigued with this beautiful blue water and would like to see more of it, there is a spring in Eureka Springs called Blue Spring. Mind your head right here. We got a little piece of bacon that hangs down. Example of cave bacon. It's backlit so you can see how it developed over the many, many years. The green stuff on the walls and the ceiling is cave algae. We have a lot of cave algae all throughout the cavern. It doesn't require much dirt to grow. As long as it gets water and light, it grows like mad. We try to keep the lights turned off when no one's around so it doesn't take over the back of the cave. That is our corn dog. I love our corn dog. And others, that's because there's more iron present in that water. Some spots like this, there's no iron in it, so it's pure calcium. This is called a lily pad. I know most people call it a ledge, but technically in the cave we call it a lily pad. The way it forms is millions of years ago there was a great big old mound of clay right there. All of this water that was dripping through and falling on it had calcium in it, and it soaked into the top layers and bonded them together. All the time. Sounded like a ghost moaning. Well, it didn't take them long to start calling this The ghost room. And that was years before Randy was even born. When he came along, he said, well, you can call it the ghost room if you want to, but that's air displacement. There's a room back there. The more he thought about it, the worse he wanted to find it. So finally, in 1989, he decided he would go for it. He didn't want to dig over here originally because there was flowstone that looked like this. It used to go all the way across the wall. However, on that side, there was nothing but bedrock and cave clay. He didn't mind digging through bedrock and cave clay, so he ordered a stick of dynamite and set it off. Well, that opened up 4 or 5 feet of what is now the walkway, and that fell off the ceiling. Oops. These are thousands of years old, and if there'd been any movement between the two sides, they would have fallen, and they haven't. A billion years ago, this used to be the bottom of the ocean floor.
Okay guys, that was Cosmic Caverns, and I have to say that was one of the most fun, exciting tours that I've taken in a really long time. Our tour guide was absolutely amazing. She was super engaging, and it was fun for our entire group. Now there are a few places in here that are a little bit narrow, and some that do require you to duck down just a little bit. However, it's completely doable and well worth the price point. It was about an hour and a half that we were underground, and now coming out to see the light of day again, it's a beautiful day. But it was a beautiful day inside as well. The temperature is a little bit cooler, making this a perfect summer activity, but it's also great for winter because it stays climate controlled. So it can be 40 out here and still a comfortable temperature down there. If you did like this, make sure you like this video, hit the subscribe button, and check out the description box below where I have left some information about Cosmic Caverns. Until next time guys, bye!